Good morning. It is Tuesday, August the 10th. I am back in the reading nook on what looks to be a warm and sunny day, of course, with a nice hot cup of tea and a pile of parcels to unbox. And the last one for the moment is this, which has come all the way from Canada. So let's find out what's in here. Go. Free we have Paranormal Inc. Nothing on the back, so can't tell you immediately what it's about apart from paranormal, and it's incorporated, and the first thing it says is Paranormal Inc. carved from Brindlewood. Now I'm hoping that refers to Brindlewood Bay, which is an absolutely terrific role-playing game of essentially detection in a New England coastal resort town, where all the characters are retired ladies of a certain age who have nothing better to do apart from their charity work and their knitting and whatever else they do, but to detect and solve crime. And you play through it. The referee presents a case and you go in and you discover clues, and you put the clues together, and invariably or nearly always you are right, because the game works that way. It's not a case of that the referee has a predetermined case, but you put the clues together and basically deduct a solution from what you've learnt. And it's a fantastic game, because it sort of pulls you into sort of playing something, role-playing something different and doing in a different fashion. Overview and setting of Paranormal Inc. The world of Paranormal Inc. is a lot like our world, but features more ghosts. Everything was normal until one day, some years ago, the veil between the living and the dead dropped, throwing the world into chaos. Requests for paranormal investigators skyrocketed in the years since. Most of the living had come to accept the ghosts that haunt their daily lives. Demand for paranormal investigators has dropped, and the Paranormal Inc. is struggling to keep the lights on. You are employed by Paranormal Inc., a struggling small paranormal investigation business. As demand for paranormal investigators skyrocketed, big businesses like Amazonium and Dormart got into the game. Their ability to undercut small local investigators, combined with a recent general apathy and acceptance towards ghosts, has had a catastrophic impact on small businesses like Paranormal Inc. So basically you've got a bare bones crew, a scientist, a medium, a skeptic and a bookworm. There's also a resident ghost and an intern. They work sometimes but don't need to be paid. Got to cut costs somewhere. And hey, what do you pay a ghost in? And Paranormal Inc. invested in the best technology available 20 years ago. So you're working with outdated equipment, although scientists always try new things, and one day you hope to get an engaged intern with some new ideas. Held together with duct tape, and I hope you're all doing your best to keep going. So essentially, the other thing about the game is playing a GM-less game. So my first comment would be, I don't know that this game is GM-less. Okay, I don't quite know what the game is about from the cover. Necessarily one player will act as the host, essentially, who has familiarity with the rules, but he will have a character of his own and essentially play as well. But he's not the GM. Essentially, he's the most knowledgeable person about the rules and can sort of arbitrate and guide as such. So there's obviously details about the safety tools in here that we've gone to the basics. It's basically it basically involves reading the selected mystery or creating your own mystery and answering any establishing questions, and then drawing cards to generate locations, clues, non-player characters, and the paranormal. The game has 3 sections: introduction, investigation, and resolution. Each mystery will tell you how many clues you need to find to move on to the game's resolution. As the players move through the mystery, exploring, discovering, and investigating, they will use moves from just the general moves and their individual playbooks, and roll dice which makes sense in the fiction. If they're unsure if a move is triggered, or you should be rolling your dice, ask the other players or the host. Now, essentially, what this means is, when it's talking about moves and playbooks, what that should tell you is that this game is powered by the Apocalypse. Apocalypse is a role-playing game from about 2011 or 2009, something like that, which was a post-apocalyptic role-playing game in which the characters all had access to sort of like a very generic set of moves that you could find in a post-apocalyptic game, or indeed any role-playing game. But then each of them also had particular moves key to what they were. So the mechanic was good at fixing things, or the driver was good at driving things, and scavenger good at scavenging things, and so on. And that format has kind of proliferated through any number of different role-playing games. Essentially, A State, current Kickstarter, is powered by the Apocalypse. I opened Bedlam Hall, another powered by the Apocalypse role-playing game. Essentially, the servants having their different moves and so on. And I played the Warren, which is where you play rabbits, and they each have their different moves according to the type of rabbit they are. Here we go. And it's basically a quick discussion, explanation of the rules. We've got a guide to playing online. And then essentially structure of play, explaining how it's played. There's a nice example there. And that's good. I mean, always good. It's always good to have a good example of play. I mean, it's because that gives you some idea of how the game is played, or how the design of the game intends the game to be played. And essentially, go for it. Basically, we have a nice illustration of essentially, not so much the mystery machine is sort of like basically I don't know, the ghost machine or something like that. I'm not quite sure. Ghost carriage. I'm sure I could find a way of alliterating that. And then we have discussion. Card prompts are used in the game to basically prompt the story, get the players to act and more. And then we go on to general moves. So like the risky move, the ghostly encounters move, and essentially these are very generic. So the discovery move, a handbook of the recently deceased move. These are all very generic moves. Partly because so anybody can do these, but how you interpret them and what you're doing in each case might be different. So the risky move, might be, I need to break in. I need to basically climb up the skin of that drain pipe, shin across the front of that house and climb in through the window, for example. Or it could be, you are attempting to basically a car chase following a caretaker who you think has probably been faking the hauntings. And I like the inclusion of the handbook of the recently deceased move. That's a nice reference to Beetlejuice. It's the book that the two central characters are given once they're dead, and it's been nicely turned up as a prop, as a notebook and a prop. I've got a couple of instances of that. So I've got a notebook which came from like a t-shirt offer, and then I actually got handbook, basically a little prop one that the Warner Brothers did back at the time of the video release. So here we've got a guide to the characters. various types there. So basically you've got the scientist, you've got the ghost and the paranormal expert and so on. Probably intern at and essentially, yeah, we have double page spread for each of the character types. So here's the scientist, explanation of what they do, and then the moves for the characters. And all essentially what you're doing each turn you want to do a move is you're rolling 2d6, and you are hoping to roll at least 7 to succeed with consequences, or 10 to succeed perfectly. And so it does this, for example, so skeptic, the medium, the intern, bookworm, and the ghost. So numerous character types, and then we get into presenting the mystery. And essentially, again, this is all content that essentially the host will probably find fairly easy to get across to his fellow players, explain how the game is played, and then prompts for locations, paranormals, and basically this is all done by draw of the card. You're using a standard deck of cards. Okay, NPC prompts. And clue prompts. So yeah, that is Paranormal Inc. Let's see who is from, for the sake of a publisher. It's by Alicia Furness. I'm sure, and it's basically you'll be able to find a copy of that hopefully on somewhere like Drive-Thru RPG. So yeah, Paranormal Inc. It's a game of essentially ghost hunting, where you're basically using the prompts. You tell a story of ghost hunting and come to a successful resolution of the case based upon what you've discovered. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, please do click the like button down below, and of course, if you have any comments or feedback, I appreciate you posting those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to more unboxings in the Nook and see me with parcels and games and books too, basically which I will talk about for about 10 minutes or so over a nice hot cup of tea, then please do hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, I'll be back very soon with another unboxing in the Nook. And thanks again for watching. Bye for now.